everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Real Housewives of New Jersey. Teresa Giudice reportedly in tax trouble for a second time. Teresa Giudice is reportedly facing tax trouble for the second time. She and husband Luis Ruiz owe a combined amount of over $2 million. Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice is reportedly facing tax trouble again, over 20 years after she was indicted on federal fraud charges alongside then-husband Joe Giudice. A new report claims the Bravo celebrity owes back taxes, as does her current husband Luis Ruiz. Per report by Page 6, Teresa Giudice is said to owe $303,889.20 in tax liens. The news outlet reports this information was obtained via documents which reveal the reality star's current financial woes. But that's not all. Her husband Luis Ruiz reportedly owes over $1 million to a lender that is due the end of March, reports The Sun. This updated amount is additional to Ruiz's prior tax line of $163,523.94 from December 2024. He also faces a tax lion dated March 6, 2025 for a whopping $2,569,842.06. Teresa was also hit with a $17,000 tax lion in 2023. But at that time, her lawyer James J. Leonard Jr. clarified the reality star was making payments towards that outstanding balance. Giudice has not commented publicly on this new financial information regarding her and Ruiz's reported debt. Teresa Giudice and her ex-husband, Joe Giudice, were married from 1999 through 2019. Their tax troubles made front-page news and were a storyline on Real Housewives of New Jersey during seasons 6 and 7. In 2013, the couple was indicted on multiple federal fraud charges, including bankruptcy fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, and tax evasion. Prosecutors alleged that they failed to file tax returns between 2004 and 2008 and engaged in fraudulent financial schemes for the U.S. Department of Justice. In 2014, both Teresa and Joe pled guilty. Thus, Teresa was sentenced to 15 months in prison, ultimately serving from January to December 2015. Joe subsequently served 41 months. At the end of his sentence, Joe was deported to Italy as he was not a U.S. citizen. He currently lives in the Bahamas. Joe and Teresa divorced in 2020. They continue to co-parent their daughters Gia, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana. Teresa Giudice's future on Real Housewives of New Jersey remains in limbo due to ongoing strife between cast members. Her participation in any further seasons of the Bravo reality series rests in the hands of production, who can choose to continue with the core cast or move on with new members. The reality series' ongoing strife, particularly between Teresa Giudice and her sister-in-law, Melissa Gorga, escalated to a point of no return by the end of season 14. The cast was irreparably broken into two camps. Additionally, cast members such as Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Cabral were involved in conflicts that created further division within the group, along with drama between Jackie Goldschneider, Rachel Fuda, and Margaret Josephs. However, only two women remained out of the infighting, Jennifer Fessler and Dolores Catania. These personal conflicts, combined with shifting alliances and unresolved feuds, have added to the series' instability. This deep conflict led RHONJ producer Andy Cohen to question the cast's future moving forward if they cannot film together. Cohen clarified on his SiriusXM radio show that the show's future hasn't been decided. "We are going to reimagine the show in some way. Who knows, maybe it will be all fresh faces." Real Housewives of New Jersey remains on hiatus. Reportedly, filming is currently not taking place. Real Housewives of New Jersey. Teresa Giudice reportedly in tax trouble for a second time. Teresa Giudice, one of the most iconic and talked about personalities from the Real Housewives franchise, has never shied away from the limelight. From her dramatic confrontations on screen to her tumultuous personal life, Teresa has been a central figure in the world of reality TV for over a decade. However, recently, the New Jersey housewife has found herself in the headlines for reasons that go far beyond her usual antics. According to multiple reports, Teresa Giudice is reportedly in tax trouble for the second time, and fans are left wondering how this will affect her already complicated relationship with fame, money, and family. The first scandal: a second chance. Before diving into this latest tax controversy, it's essential to revisit Teresa's first brush with legal trouble. Back in 2014, Teresa and her then-husband, Giudice, were sentenced to prison after being convicted of multiple counts of fraud, including bankruptcy fraud, wire fraud, and tax evasion. The couple faced charges related to hiding income and assets to avoid paying taxes. Joe was sentenced to 41 months in prison, while Teresa served a much shorter 11-month sentence at a federal consequences of their actions were not just a blow to their reputations, but also to their financial stability. For Teresa, the scandal was a painful chapter. Her public persona as a wealthy housewife took a massive hit, and her family's name became synonymous with financial mismanagement. Yet, she managed to bounce back with the resilience that her fans have come to expect. After her release, she wrote a memoir, Turning the Tables, From Housewife to Inmate and Back Again, chronicling her journey through prison and the emotional toll it took on her and her family. Teresa's ability to rebuild her career and continue her role on The Real Housewives of New Jersey demonstrated her grit. She even went on to become a best-selling author, published several cookbooks, and maintained a high profile through her social media presence. Despite the public setbacks, Teresa's career continued to flourish, and the Giudice family slowly began to piece together their life post-scandal. However, now it seems that history might be repeating itself as Teresa is facing fresh allegations of tax-related misconduct. A fresh set of allegations. Sources have confirmed that Teresa is reportedly under investigation once again for tax-related issues. While details are still scarce, speculation has already started swirling about the specifics of these new allegations. Early reports suggest that the latest accusations involve Teresa failing to report income, possibly related to her television earnings, public appearances, and business ventures. Although her income sources are diverse, ranging from her role on RHO&J, endorsement deals, and book sales, some believe that her reported earnings may not align with her financial reality. For Teresa, the idea of facing another legal battle brings back haunting memories of her previous experiences. Fans and critics alike are quick to question how Teresa, who has learned so much from her past mistakes, could find herself back in this situation. Has the pressure of maintaining her lifestyle and public persona led to this latest issue? Or is this another example of someone falling victim to a complex and often murky world of financial dealings and paperwork? It's important to remember that Teresa, like many high-profile individuals, is no stranger to the demands of managing wealth. With multiple properties, business ventures, and a high-profile social media presence, the financial landscape she navigates is undoubtedly complicated. For a person in her position, oversight or mismanagement can easily snowball into something much larger. While it's still unclear whether Teresa is guilty of any wrongdoing, the whispers of a second tax scandal have already begun to paint a familiar picture. The impact on Teresa's reputation. When news of the tax investigation broke, the public reaction was swift and, as expected, mixed. For many fans of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa's return to the headlines in such a negative light feels like déjà vu. Those who have followed her story since the early days of the show know that Teresa has always been a controversial figure. Whether it's her high-maintenance lifestyle, dramatic confrontations with her fellow housewives, or her fiery temper, Teresa has never been far from a headline. However, after her release from prison, many were hopeful that Teresa had turned a new leaf, that her life had entered a more stable phase, both personally and financially. The second tax issue has the potential to undo much of that progress. Public opinion is a fickle thing, and while Teresa has a dedicated fan base, it's undeniable that many viewers and media outlets will use this news to cast a shadow on her recent successes. The idea that Teresa might be struggling with financial transparency once again will surely raise questions about her credibility and whether she's learned from her past mistakes. The family factor. One of the most poignant aspects of Teresa's first scandal was the toll it took on her family, particularly her 4 daughters. As a mother, Teresa had to contend with not only the legal ramifications, but also the emotional strain that came with her time away from her children. At the time, her husband Joe was also incarcerated, leaving Teresa to raise their daughters alone. The public scrutiny, combined with the personal hardships, could have broken many, but Teresa persisted. Her dedication to her family has been one of the most consistent themes in her life and career, and it's likely that the impact of any new legal trouble will be felt most strongly by her daughters. If Teresa is once again involved in a tax scandal, her children, who are now older and more aware of the media frenzy surrounding their family, will have to navigate the fallout. Although Teresa has managed to shield them from much of the public turmoil in the past, the latest allegations will undoubtedly be more challenging to deflect.